Sean Kappauf, hi.
Hi.
Sean is a pastor from Capo Beach Church. He's the founder of One at a Time, a nonprofit humanitarian organization that provides fresh water filters to areas lacking clean water. Please welcome with me Pastor Sean Kappauf. Hi.
Hi.
So nice to see you.
Good to see you.
So, before we get this, when I say one at a time, it's one ATTA time.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about your organization and...
The organization exists from a verse in Micah. Micah 6:8 says, "What does God require of you but to act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God?" And I believe walking humbly looks like taking one step at a time. And I kept saying that, one at a time, one at a time. And I'm like, hey, I like that, time. And for us in our organization, we exist to bring healing to children around the world, and we're not going to make a difference by focusing on the masses, but we can make a difference one at a time. Mother Teresa said, if you can't feed 100 people, just feed one.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's that one child, one at a time.
So how did you feel called to this? Because I mean, I knew you were in ministry and you're doing things, but you had a mission trip or something, right? Where
my wife and I sponsor a child through Compassion. And I was going through a place of like apathy. I just didn't really care a lot. As a pastor, that's not really a good spot to be in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I gotta do some work here. Yeah. And so I asked God, I said, God, how do I deal with that? And he says, I want you to make it personal. And so for me, I'm like, well, what do I care about? What am I passionate about? Children. I love kids, but I didn't have any kids. My wife and I would have kids at the time, and I walk downstairs and look at the fridge, and there's a little magnet with, his name's Brian. He lives in El Salvador. I'm like, I'm gonna go hang out with that guy. And so I go on a missions trip down to El Salvador.
Wait, you're like, I'm just going to go meet my kid.
Yeah.
You just got on a plane and went.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
Kind of.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Close enough. Like that. So I'm down in El Salvador. I'm hanging out. Actually, I'm there, and all of a sudden I hear this noise. Sean, Sean, Sean. And I'm like, Sean, who's Sean? And it was Brian. He was yelling Sean, but how he said it was Sean. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's Brian. He's running down to meet me, and I pick him up and I hold him, and he's like happy and smiling, and I'm talking to his mom through a translator. I said, how's he doing? How's his health? He's like, he's doing great, but he's sick. Sick from what? He has worms. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, from what? From poor drinking water. And I'm like, oh. And I felt like in that moment, God's saying, Sean, take care of my child. Take care of your child.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So that kind of sprung this whole thing. What happened to Sean, by the way?
Oh, Brian?
Or Brian, I'm sorry.
What happened to me? I'm here.
What happened to... Yeah. That's right. What happened to Brian?
Brian, so I'm actually hanging out with Brian in a couple weeks. I'm going down, I'm taking him to the zoo.
Cool.
But Brian, he's healthy. He's been healthy ever since. We brought in filtrations in there, and now his community, in fact, his entire city now all has access to clean drinking water.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very cool.
And that's in large part because you were obedient to just one at a time, like you said.
Yeah,
just
that's
take one simple step towards what God was calling you to do. But I mean, now you guys are providing clean water to all sorts of towns and countries, and tell me about how that happened.
People just started.
So like you get back and you're like, I got to solve this problem.
Well, I would get back and I'm like, okay, God, if this is something you want to do, then let's make it happen. And people started asking me. And I don't, as a pastor, you have, space and people know because you're talking on stage or whatever, but people started calling me saying, hey, could you come to Vietnam? Sure. Hey, could you come to Uganda? Okay. Hey, can you come to Puerto Rico? I'm in.
And you bring filters, right?
Yeah, water filters.
Tell me about the filter.
The filter is produced by a company called Sawyer. Basically, you attach primarily to a bucket. So you take like a plastic bucket, you attach the filter to it, and you put dirty water in the bucket, you drop this hose down, and the dirty water goes through the hose, through the filter, and out comes clean drinking water. Cleaner than your bottled water, and it lasts up to 1 million gallons.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Or in other countries, it's 4 million liters. So.
Yeah, let's go back to gallons.
Okay.
Liters. So that's awesome. So, I mean, you guys continue to provide these filters, and you raise money, and then with whatever money you get, you go and you're bringing clean water.
Yeah.
It's amazing because water is the #1 killer, right? Of children. Of children.
5 and under.
And it's dysentery and worms and things like that.
Yes, diarrhea, things like that. I mean, it's a preventable disease, and it's killing children all over the world.
I think it's so crazy. Something we don't think about, we take for granted. We're like watering our lawns with potable water.
Well, we got a taste of it when we had the drought. And that was a moment where we're like, oh, water is very essential. It is the thing that you need to survive.
Well, great. Well, how can people follow you and get to know more about what you're doing and support your
Online, oneatatime.org. That's oneatatime.org. or on Facebook or Instagram, things like that.
That's cool. Well, tell Brian that we said hi.
I will,
and it's
absolutely.
So awesome that you
Yeah.
continue to do this for so many people. Thanks for
Yeah.
your great work, Sean, and
Yeah.
we appreciate you. God
Yeah.
bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.